Nice and comfy. Right, I'm on 13,493 miles. So let's call it 13,500. In a bit. So it was around this part of the trip where I started to notice some issues. My front wheel was making a terrible creaking sound, like a metal boat creaking in the sea. After stopping, performing some checks, lubing the forks, some wheel bearings, adjusting the front suspension, nothing was working. I thought it was game over on day one, so I called up a garage in Carlisle, about 40 miles away, and went to get it checked out. Okay, so we've had to make an emergency pit stop at KC Superbikes in Carlisle. I was in a place called Cockermouth, or as these guys called it, Nobbing Gob. Quite funny. My front wheel started creaking, so every revolution or so when you go in slow speeds, it was creaking and making this horrible sort of low-pitched squeak, creaky noise. So I got it up on the centre stand, lubed up the forks, lubed up the wheel bearings, and I adjusted the suspension up here a little bit. And it's okay at high speeds, medium speeds, but at low speeds it was still creaking every now and then. So I brought it to these guys and they've just basically checked it over. They said nothing's free, nothing's loose. They would keep riding it if they were me. It just seems like possibly squeaky brake pads or something like that. The discs aren't warped or anything, so yeah, I'm gonna keep on trudging along, but see how it goes. We got to the first campsite of the trip at about 8 PM, so leaving at 7 AM, that's about 13 hours on the road. I made sure that the first leg of the trip was the biggest, as I was at my spriest and in good morale, I suppose. However, what I hadn't taken into account was the amount of fatigue this would put on my body. Not 5 hours into the trip, my arse was literally aching from sitting on the seat for so long, and that would prove to probably be the biggest mistake of the trip. Alas, camp was set up, bacon was made, and all was well. A successful first day of Tigger's adventure. So, first night's done. We made it to a McDonald's. I've had a latte and a muffin meal. It was very good. Feel very spry and chipper. The tent and everything was quite easy to get down, to be honest, and I've actually managed to compress it a bit more and it's packed better into my pannier, so Got a little bit more room, plus obviously I've eaten last night, so I've got more room to get some stuff in, so yeah, going forward will be a bit better. I've also decided to get my bottles in here because they don't fly out fine. So yeah, hopefully the arse is alright today. I've still got my jeans on, but if worst comes to worst, I will get my waterproofs on because they're a bit more padded. That was my only issue really yesterday, and the front wheel. It didn't turn out to be an issue. I've had a lovely ride up here this morning to, I think it's called Livington. But now we're on our way to Glasgow, and we're going to go see the River Clyde, have a little ride around, then make our way over to Edinburgh, over further to the east coast, and then down. We're going to go to Lindisfarne on the Holy Island, which is where the, well, I won't spoil it, I'll do it on the next update. But yeah, we'll be going down there. And then finally our resting spot tonight should be at the North York Moors. It's not as big as a ride as yesterday. It should only take about 8 hours. I say only. But yeah, we should be good. It's 4 hours less than yesterday. We drove for 12 hours total. So yeah, let's do it. We're currently on 13,915 miles. So that's 415 miles we've done so far. Unfortunately, because I'm an idiot, I did not record any videos coming up to Glasgow, so we've just teleported to Glasgow. Made it to River Clyde. We've got BBC Scotland over there. I'm just waiting for Limmy to be on the roof, waving and then pointing somewhere else. I've been hoping that I see Limmy, just, you know, have a little walk around. But hey, it's probably not going to happen. For those of you who don't know, he's one of my favourite comedians. He lives here in Glasgow. You need to watch him. But yeah, we've made it. This is the River Clyde. Yeah, next stop we've got Edinburgh. So make our way there. Let's see how long that'll take. I want to go see Edinburgh Castle. 43 miles away, that should be about an hour. Yeah, an hour. Takes the M8. Awesome, let's do it. We've made it to Edinburgh. Took a little less than the hour that it said. It was more like 45 minutes. I saw another tiger on the road, which was very cool. He had the same panniers as me. Not as much gear though. So yeah, this is Edinburgh Castle. It's absolutely stunning. The camera doesn't really do it justice because of the lens, but it's absolutely humongous. See right over there. It's absolutely stunning. The city's beautiful as well. Got like a nice church over there. Yeah, pile of rubble. Yeah, very, very nice. So the next stop is probably going to be a bathroom somewhere, but after that, I'm probably looking at where are we? the Holy Island, which is just here. So there's a little land bridge that goes over. You can't see it on this map, but there's a little land bridge. Hopefully the tide's out. So we'll be going down the A1 all the way down to the Holy Island. It's not that far. Are we allowed to go?
I think it's not a good time, it's 1:15.
So you gotta wait till 1:15 and then...
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So here is problem 2. The Holy Island has a land bridge, which is only safe to cross at certain times of the day. I had gotten here a little too early at this point, so it was about 11:55 AM and the next available safe cross was at 1:15 PM. That was a little bit too long to wait, so one of the coolest stops of the trip, where the Vikings first invaded Britain, Lindisfarne, on the Holy Island, was not meant to be. My girlfriend reassured me, however, that when we do the North Coast 500, we can go see some Vikings then, but for now, it was a hard decision to make, but I decided to continue on with the trip. Next stop is down the Northumberland coast, passing through Bamberg Castle, Amble, and Low Hawksley. Let's go. So we're at a place. It's near Amble. It's like it's supposedly the friendliest port. Amble's just down there. I think that's Amble. And there's over there a little island with lighthouse on. It's a very, very strange day today. It's very wet air, but it's not actually raining. So as you've probably seen on my windscreen, it's very, very watery. It's got loads of water droplets on it, but it's not rained once. This is a very strange bench as well. There's nowhere to put your feet. Yeah, she's just down there. Oh. Next stop is probably going to be somewhere around Newcastle upon Tyne. I think that's what it's called. Not sure how long away it is, but yeah, we're getting there. We should be at the North York Moors for about 4, half 4, 5 o'clock. So a lot sooner than yesterday. Give me plenty of time to rest and chill out. So yeah, onwards to the next one. So coming up to the toll, I didn't realise that motorbikes are free. So I was driving around like looking for a price sheet and panicking because I didn't have any change on me because it wouldn't accept card. Little did I know, hence my reaction, motorbikes are free. So I was driving around like an absolute lunatic, but there we go. This is the Tyne Tunnel, so it's in Newcastle upon Tyne, clues in the name. It's 5,500 feet long, that's a mile, which is pretty crazy. It's a mile-long tunnel underneath the River Tyne. It was actually opened by Queen Elizabeth herself in 1967, so it's a very, very old tunnel, and it's very loud. I've had to reduce the volume of this clip because you wouldn't be able to hear me. So after going through the Tyne Tunnel, we went down to Sunderland to a little place called Roker, a lovely little by-the-sea place. Went then through Middlesbrough, and then finally at the North York Moors. Now unfortunately my GoPro ran out of battery and I did not realise until I got to pretty much Middlesbrough, but I did manage to get a lovely clip of coming up to the campsite, which was owned by this farmer and his wife. It was literally just in his front garden. And there was a bunch of pheasants running in front, and pheasants are the stupidest animals you will ever come across in Great Britain. They won't run to the side, they'll just run in front of you, and they won't fly off, and it's quite hilarious to watch, so please enjoy. We're at the campsite. Tigger's over there, hiding. Just cooking up tea now. Again, forgot oil, so I'm gonna have to scrub the pan yet again. Eating a bagel as well. Took about an hour and a half to get from Sunderland to here. It's a really lovely campsite. Got a really great video of riding off-road and past some pheasants, which was pretty cool. That little road runners, they look so dumb. But yeah, that's me camped up for the night. Plenty of time spare, it's only 5 o'clock, so just gonna chill out, watch some videos and eat.
The second day went quite well. After a few hours my backside was once more in pain, and I had been taking a lot more stops than the day before, but despite the shorter trip time. I was also doing a lot of on-bike stretching, like standing up, arching my back and whatnot, but I could tell it wasn't going to get any better. The ride was a strange one. It didn't rain, but it was very wet and it was as if I was chasing the weather. However, I did see and experience many new things, such as train crossings, tolls and very, very friendly drivers pulling to the side and letting me pass, because we don't get that much in Manchester. So that was quite nice. Today's trip, it started at about 7 AM and it ended at about 4:30 PM. So it's a little bit over my estimate of 8 hours with all the stops I had to take. So you're looking at about, I believe that's about 9.5 hours there. The next day, it was a fairly big ride, going from the North York Moors all the way down to Ipswich, but my morale remained high as I kept reminding myself what I'm doing it for. The campsite that I was staying at, it was absolutely awesome. The owner, we had a great big chat. It was nice to actually sort of interact with someone. There was only 2 other campers and they were also really nice, but we all kept to ourselves, so I had a relaxing night, which was pretty well needed after today and for tomorrow.
So we're camped up. The time is 6:56 AM. Tent's all packed up. In here rather. Everything else is in there. Oh, that was very tiring. I've not had my breakfast yet, so we're going to go get some. I've changed my pants. So I've got some thicker bike pants on now, and I've put this under here because I took this off last night, so I can change my pants. Yes, that's right, I didn't change my pants before. Today we're going to be going to Scarborough first and checking out Scarborough Castle. It takes about an hour to get there. Just down through the North York Moors. And then we'll be going down over Humber Bridge, just here, down through here to Great Yarmouth, down through here, and the campsite's near Ipswich, I believe, somewhere around here. So it's about a 7-8 hour drive, including breaks. Let's get started.
Humber Bridge was absolutely gargantuan. I did not expect it to be so bloody huge. The GoPro's wide-angle lens makes it seem smaller, but it absolutely towered over you. It took about 2.5 minutes to cross completely, and I guess it was like the Golden Gate Bridge, but only grey and in hull. So, yeah. The next leg of the trip, however, did invite some rain, so it's the first of many. Good thing I put my waterproofs on that morning, because I needed it. I got absolutely drenched. So yeah, that was fun. This part of the trip, I for some reason, and somehow, did a time lapse, so please enjoy this PowerPoint presentation of Great Yarmouth.
We've made it to Great Yarmouth. I've just gone down a very, very long industrial road. It's full of like these really rusty, giant industrial structures. Not entirely sure what they are, but it's all very it's quite endearing, to be honest. For some reason, I don't know, it just appeals to me. I feel like I want to do like an 80s music video down it, or something like that. Got seagulls being knobheads. It's very chill here. Not done many updates since the last one. I think the last one was oh god, where was it? I can't even remember. I think it was actually when we set off. No, it couldn't have been. It would have been at Scarborough, right? Can't remember. Anyway, we've come from about here, Scarborough, Flamborough, over the Humber Bridge. I was going to pull off and get a picture on there, but there's nowhere to pull off really. We skipped Grimsby, we went straight through the Lincolnshire Wolds, down through King's Lynn, through here, through Norwich, Great Yarmouth. Oh, we have to do this one, don't we? Okie dokie. An hour and 40 minutes. It's a lot longer than I thought it would be, but oh well. My arse is still killing me. But there we go. So, see you in an hour and 40.
Around this part of the trip, my GoPro batteries, of which I had 3, were quite difficult to charge, as I could only really do one at a time, so I got no footage for this part of the trip, unfortunately, and I had to be a lot more sparing of my captures going forward. It's quite difficult to charge the batteries in the GoPro, because you couldn't have it mounted on your head. It had to be out of the housing and charging in my tank bag, so it was quite hard. However, this campsite that I was staying at on the third night, it was probably my favourite. I met an absolutely lovely bunch of bikers who welcomed me into their group. They were called Riders 365. They do exactly what I do. They ride 365 days of the year, come rain, come shine, come snow, doesn't matter, they'll ride it. And as bikers look after their own, they invited me over to join in on their barbecue. So one big laugh, 2 Copperbergs, 2 sausages, a burger and a pork chop later, I headed to bed after making some new friends and got my very, very sore bottom some rest for the south coast of Great Britain.
Second night's done. It is currently 6:50 AM. I've just come out of the campsite now and just pulled over somewhere. Met some awesome bikers last night. They were at the campsite right next to me, and they basically were having a big barbecue and they invited me over. So that was tea sorted. Had a big barbecue, nice chat, told a few stories. It's really good. Made some friends. Their Facebook group is Ride 365. Well, pretty much they ride 365 days of the year, which is pretty self-explanatory, and it's something that I do, so made sense. Awesome bunch of people though. Today we are going to be going through London. It's the first time driving through on my bike, so that'll be quite interesting. I've not set up my route yet, but we're here in Ipswich. And probably go through Chelmsford to London. Should only take about an hour and a half. It's all motorways and B roads, A roads rather. Then it's straight down to Brighton, across, all the way across, sticking as low as we can, and then finally ending up near Dorset, around here, so where our next campsite is. So from here to here, all the way down the coast. We're skipping out this bit here, mainly because I've always wanted to ride through London, and it's not too far from the coast, so I thought we'll go here and just straight down on the M23. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to get some breakfast first, and then we'll get started. we made it to Buckingham Palace. All the roads are closed at the moment, so you can't go any further than that. I wanted to do a little loop around, but oh well. Managed to get here at least. Yeah, I've been here before. It's very quiet because it's, well, both 9:10 in the morning on a Saturday in August, which I suppose it should be a bit busier, but the weather's not the best. It's very foggy. Yeah, it's all very regal. Got some of the guards over there, just chilling. Yeah. Next stop, I want to go over the Thames. I've already gone under it, so we'll probably go over one of these bridges. I might do Westminster. Yeah, we'll do Westminster, and then straight down to Brighton, and then over the coast. Easy as that. It should be a nice and quick day, to be honest. And then the last, well, the fourth day will be from here, down here, up over Prince of Wales Bridge or something. I forget what it's called. It's the M4. It's got a name. And then up to Llangwynant, which is a little campsite. Yeah. It's crazy to think 2 days ago I was in Glasgow.
Down in Brighton, I stopped off to have a bite to eat. Now, I had a lovely bacon sandwich and a banana milkshake, but unfortunately, a seagull decided to nick half my bacon butty, so I was a little salty after and decided to spend half an hour enjoying the weather and the beach. Once I set back off, about 12:30, a young girl and her boyfriend had someone crash into their car, which was quite unfortunate. Sadly, my GoPro wasn't running, which would have been a lifesaver for them because the person who crashed into them drove off. So after making sure they were both okay, there was nothing more I could do, so I started to make my way down the south coast.
It's decent colour, right? It's always right back home.
That was the last bit of footage before I got to my 4th night stay. I stayed in a beautiful campsite in Weymouth, well, near Weymouth, called Rosewall, which I cannot wait to visit again. I met a fellow Tiger rider there called Kevin, who had only had his Tiger for about 2 weeks, but we became pretty good friends. We pitched close and chatted through the night. A campervan couple came over and joined in, and we had great talks about travels, Europe, bikes and the sort. As mentioned previously, my batteries both in my GoPro and in me were running dry. At this point my backside was in so much pain I was having to take double the stops, and it would lengthen off just a standard 40-minute trip to about around an hour and a half. That's not what you want when your last big ride is expected to be 10 hours long. For now though, the night was calm, cool and dry, but this was just the calm before the storm.
Second night's done. I'm pretty far away already. I forgot to do an update, so apologies. But we started our campsite, it was around Weymouth. Just gone to have a McDonald's and just filling up on petrol, and I remembered to do an update. Some unfortunate news, I've completely misjudged the southwest of England and how much country road it is. It would have took 3 hours just to get from here to here. So unfortunately, I'm having to skip this entire area, which kind of defeats the purpose of a coastal tour. But yeah, completely misjudged it. It would have made today's trip about 10, I think it was about 12 or 13 hours, which would have sucked, especially with my fatigued bottom. Apologies for not doing the southwest. That was actually one of the places that I did really want to see. In fact, the 3 places that I extremely wanted to see, which was Lindisfarne, the Viking Island, and Land's End and Lizard Point I've not been able to do. So, but think positively. Every cloud has a silver lining. That means I can do it next time. And I'll just optimise the route for that, or do it in a bit longer. But yeah, we're doing good. I met an awesome guy last night called Kevin. He was on a Triumph Tiger 1200, which was the Explorer. He's only had it for about 2 weeks and he's loving it. I gave him a few pointers on from my experience on it. Yeah, he was a really cool guy. Some of the guys in the camper van came over and we all had a good chat. It's a great thing about biking. It's really social fun. You can just sit down and have a chat with strangers about something common, common interests that you have, which I suppose is great on the topic of mental health if people are struggling with socialising and stuff like that. Get into biking, even if you just get a scooter. It's got 2 wheels and an engine between your legs, doesn't matter. So what we're doing right now is a 1 hour 39 trip, basically up to Bristol. I've worked in Bristol before, so I'm nice to see it again. And we're going to go stop before we go over the Prince of Wales Bridge. We're going to stop at this beach here, hopefully get a nice shot of the bridge with a bike in front of it, and then I've got my GoPro fully charged, ready for the ride over it, which I'm quite excited for. And then when we're in Wales, it's Cardiff. Basically just follow the coast. It's pretty much as easy as that, hence, coastal trip. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys later.
As you can probably imagine, at this point I was tired, wet, pained and ready to get in a comfy bed. The podcasts that I was listening to were the only things keeping my head on straight and not focusing on the pain from the seat. Rain doesn't really hinder your ability to ride, as long as you keep your head on a swivel, go easy on the brakes and don't stay behind vehicles, you can still go 60 miles an hour comfortably, granted you have decent tyres. However, this rain was intermittent. It was dry then soaked, all throughout Wales. The charger for my phone decided to go kaput and I had to do some roadside repairs on it. Also, adding an app which turns the touchscreen off as water kept tapping the screen and doing all sorts of things, from cancelling my directions to changing my podcast. It was very annoying. 1500 miles into the trip, it felt like the world was against me. But I wasn't giving up. The next stop was a place called Barry Island. Some of you may know it, may be familiar, but it was a charming little town and I quite enjoyed it.
We've made it.
Yay! I got my boy back.
I've got 2 tents. Pick of.
You picked the posh tent.
Yeah.
But I can't complain really.
Oh, I'm knackered, man.
Have you been doing diaries?
A little bit. But yeah.
a man of few words after completing a 1600-mile trip around the UK's coast in just 4 days at this point. I was indeed, as I put it, knackered. I met my mum at Llangwynant campsite for the last night, a campsite that was very close to my heart as we came here when we were kids. I thought it was quite fitting. The trip through Wales was soggy, miserable and quite hard on the hands, with tight bendy corners on high-hedged country roads and short A roads which gave me no time to utilise cruise control to give my hands a rest. When I arrived at the gates, I felt a weight off my shoulders and a rush of morale so hard that I literally had to scream yes, and I just knew then that I had done it. I met Mum and I got off my gear and got into the pre-pitched tent that she had already gotten ready for me, and a nice hearty meal of bangers and mash. Ooh-ah! We had another run-in with the rain, but come 9 PM I was out like a light. The next day was just a 2-hour ride back home. I had forgotten to charge anything that night, so unfortunately I don't have any documented footage of that last ride, but I'm sure you could guess the weather and the status of my poor bum. When I hit home, we had done 1,750 miles in 5 days. We had raised £575, a £111.25 in gift aid, making it £686.25 in total for the Mental Health Foundation. As a first fundraiser, I'm amazed at the support that I've received from everyone. I cannot thank you enough. The memories I have made and the experience I have had is absolutely priceless, and I cannot wait for the next one. But until then, thank you and stay safe.
Fucking centipede on the inside of my helmet. Fuck me. Get off me. I just saw it crawling across the inside of my visor. Jesus. Scared the shit out of me, that. Oh, right.